This week I would like to try and kickstart your motivation this week and try and encourage you to enjoy your garden all the same as you would do in the spring and summer throughout the winter months. And I believe I have 3 tips today that can help you do that, or can try and help you do that anyway. You don't have to do all 3, but hopefully one of them will at least hit home for you. So hello and welcome to this week's Natural Gardening Live with me, Josie Rainbow, your natural gardening coach. How are we all today? Are you enjoying the crisp air and the thick fog that we have going on today? I'm assuming you have it where you are as well, because it seems to be everywhere. So yes, what are we talking about today? So today we are talking about, let me keep the banner up for you. So today we are talking, well, we're going to try and jumpstart your winter motivation for your garden. Yeah, winter can be full of challenges. It can be very tempting to go inside your house, close the door, tuck yourself up in a blanket or something, warm clothes. Have a cup of tea, cup of coffee, might be fancy, and look at your garden from the window. What do you do to get yourself out in the garden in the winter? Or are you one of these people that likes to just close the door and look out from the window and enjoy your garden from the warmth of an inside your house, inside the central heated house, or by an open fire if you've got that as well? So yes, let me know in the comments if you're one of these people, if you actually go out your way and motivate yourself to go out and enjoy your garden through the winter. So hopefully after today's talk, you will actually feel like you could motivate yourself to go out in your garden and enjoy your garden for the winter. With these tips today, hopefully I can change and boost your motivation towards the garden in the winter, get you out and enjoy your garden and just make the most of it as we come into the spring months when it all kicks off again. So enjoy the calm, enjoy the winteriness of your garden. So my first tip, if you like to call it a tip, to help boost your motivation for your garden in the winter would be colour. Colour can make all the difference any time of the year, really, for your garden, especially at a time of year where there's an awful lot of brown, grey, white kind of spaces in your garden, lots of gaps. So colour can make all the difference. Picking some really vivid colours can really help. You can get some really vivid winter flowering plants as well, not just flowering as well. You can get the leaves and the bark and things. Some really vivid colours going on a garden can really brighten up the look and really be more attractive to getting you out there and actually enjoying your garden, spending time out there. So some of the plants that you can have that actually incorporate some really nice colour at this time of year, right through into early spring, would be such as hellebores, cyclamen, and winter aconite. Bring a nice bit of colour to the low levels of your garden. If you want to go something a bit higher, like climbing, you can use like winter honeysuckles, winter clematis, things like that. Although they're quite pale in colour, with a little bit of yellow maybe and a little bit of creams and browns and things involved, they really do have nice little spots of colour through your garden as well. So they're really good ways of incorporating colour through the winter. They will flower through the winter, right through into early spring, and they'll be really good for your garden to incorporate a little bit of ground level or higher up colour. So they're very good to introduce a bit of colour. There is a simpler way of doing this, not so much a simpler way, but a cheaper way. You can incorporate some really nice winter flowering pansies as well into your garden. You can get these literally, you can buy them in supermarkets now. I've noticed recently, you can buy them in supermarkets, you can buy them in your general garden centres or your local nurseries, plant nurseries as well. But a pack of like either 6, 9, 12 pack of winter flowering bedding pansies are such a cheap way of getting winter colour into your garden. You can buy, as I say, a multi-pack plug pack of them. You can even order them online if you wanted to as well. They're a really cheap way of incorporating the colour. And if it's anything like the pansies that I have in my garden when I plant them for the winter, they last right through until the middle of spring, sometimes through to the summer. So they just keep on going. So it's not just winter colour that they incorporate. They are incredibly good at sort of the longevity side of it. So lasting a long, long time. So if you don't want to incorporate anything perennial, permanent, you're not sure what you're doing with your garden, you just want to incorporate a bit of colour now for like an instant response. That's the right word. The winter flowering pansies are really good. Also introduce colour into your garden in the winter months in a different way. So a lot of plants, as they grow, like summer flowering plants or spring flowering plants, as they come into winter, their foliage will change, will become a different colour, which is really good. And you can also, in a lot of plants also, where they drop their leaves, their bark will change as well to brighten up, such as dogwoods and things like that. The bark is what brings the colour. The flowers are lovely. They're usually quite bright and I want to say insignificant. They're not. It's the bark that you want. So in the winter months, they tend to come brighter and more vivid in colour. So they're a really nice way of introducing colour. Seeing plants, as I say, like dogwoods. Now, dogwoods don't just come in red, they come in a variety of different colours. You can get whites, you can get yellows, orange coloured bark as well, or stems, should I say, not rather than bark. It is kind of their bark, but you know. But yes, so dogwoods are a really good way of incorporating a variety of different colours into your garden, and they become more vivid as you come into the winter months. So really good. Fortunia, the red robin. Now, as you go through the summer months, the new growth is really vivid red, but in the summer months, the leaves are like a vivid, really nice vivid red. And as they come through into the winter months, they mature, the leaves mature. They remain that a red, they're tones of red, but the vividness kind of disappears a little bit. So they become a bit more of a mature red, it's really nice colouring, but they're evergreen. So they'll keep their leaves through. They have that nice red tones and earthy tones going to them as well, with a little bit of green as well, which is really nice. But the vivid red colours through the summer months really does brighten up your garden anyway. But the nice darker reds as they go through, they're lovely. Then we've got Calicarpa, the purple vibrant, I love that, call it beauty berries. But yeah, Calicarpa, the purple berries that they have, it's a tongue twister, this one, the purple berries are actually probably the most vivid berry that I've ever seen in a garden. They're amazing, but the purple colour stands out so brightly in your garden. It will pick out, if you've got it planted in between grasses or different shrubs and stuff, you will see the purple berries shining through between the leaves, especially if they're deciduous shrubs, they're dropping their leaves. So they're a really good way of doing it as well. So this was just the first way of motivating yourself to go out into your garden in the winter months. So adding a bit of colour to your garden. As I say, you don't have to just add it with flowering plants, although flowering plants are really important because the pollinators go through the winter, but actually thinking about the leaves and the bark as well as an option. There's quite a lot of options. Cordylines are another good one. That's one popped into my head. Cordylines are very good, and you can get the variegated cordylines. So they're like greens and whites, or you can get the red cordyline as well. Can't think of the Latin name off the top of my head for that one, but anything like that, and the flaxes, they're really good at creating a bit of colour, texture in your garden through the winter months. They look really good as well. So a bit of colour goes a long way. Planning your garden, buying seeds, ready to sow in the spring, planning your vegetable patch, things like that, and looking where you can make changes or what you want to keep in your garden, just future plans for the year ahead. That is a massively powerful motivator. It is for me, and I know it is for the gardeners that I've spoken to. That is a very powerful motivator. So if you've got something to look forward to, something for the future, so to speak, it's a really powerful motivator. My last two tips are around planning for the future. I love planning my vegetable patch. Now, I as much as I can plan it to the nth degree, never really always goes the way I want. I do try my best to keep everything where I'm going to be planting them and where I've planned it and everything, but something always changes. So the prospect of planning is more for a inspiration and motivation kind of point of view, rather than an actual hard and fast plan. So that's how it works for me. I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments if you actually stick to your vegetable plot plan when you do it. I can nearly guarantee that no one does. It's always well laid plans, but it doesn't work. So this act of looking through seed catalogues, let me know if you're in this boat. So looking through seed catalogues and going through seeds you've saved from the year before, what you want to keep, what you want to buy, what new things you want to add into your garden as well, depending on what kind of success you had the year before, all that kind of thing. Thinking about how it could affect what you buy in the shops as well. This is a key one with the cost of living. Hate to say it, I don't like to bring it up. The cost of living rises, and the cost of food and everything going up in the new year, or constantly, actually, not just in the new year, but constantly going up. Some of the things you can grow in your vegetable patch can really affect how the cost of living affects you. You can grow things that you like to eat and you'll buy a lot of in the shops. So just putting that one out there. That can really be a motivator as well. But I also love to plan my vegetable patch out, deciding on what I want to go where and the plants that complement each other as well. Now, I created back in the summer, well, in the spring actually, I created this the free guide that I think I've got in the featured section above, or it's definitely in the guide section if you want to go into the guide section to download it, telling you when you can plant seeds at different times of year. But it's also got in the back page, one of the back pages, it's got the companion planting part as well, so you can see which vegetables grow well together, which complement each other, and all that sort of things. So if you want to look at that, it will be in the guide section. I'll try and link it in the week as well, so you can check that out. It's fine. So I try and plan my garden by the vegetables that complement each other and will actually help each other to grow. So whether it be feeding each other, like with peas, feeding green nitrogen requiring plants. So, yeah, so however they complement each other, it could even be of like beneficial insects, attracting them in, being a sacrificial plant, so it protects other plants from pest and disease damage, anything like that. So I like to plan my garden this way as well. Now, as I said, completely getting off point. Planning to me is the motivational part. The having the plan and not so much sticking to it, but imagining what I can do with my garden through the year. That is the motivational part for me. My second motivational part is looking out over the year, all the photographs I've taken through the year, and looking out over the garden when it is looking like it's dying back, going into dormancy. I'm looking out over there and seeing the things that I want that worked well through the year. I liked where they were happy where they suited the situation, and they were basically low maintenance where they were. I didn't need to interfere too much. Now, if I look back on my pictures and what I can obviously sticks in my mind about plants that needed moving, weren't happy where they are, I had to keep interfering. I had to keep maintaining them, feeding them, pruning them even. If I had to keep interfering or like helping them grow, they weren't happy where they were. They're the plants I'm going to need to move before the spring. So this time of year, when the plants are in dormancy, is the best time to be moving these plants. You can research and see where they're going to be best in your garden. You're going to know, well, usually by the pictures you take for the year, but if you've had your garden for more than a year, you'll kind of understand as to where the light falls in your garden, where it's sheltered, where what soil you've got around your garden, that kind of thing. So you'll understand where, by researching, where these plants will be happier to go. So by thinking about the plants that you need to move through the garden, researching where they're going to be happiest and moving them before the spring, you're going to set your garden up for a really successful beginning of the year. The plants are going to settle in. Although there might be a bit of root damage where you've moved them, they'll recover really quickly because they're going to be in a better situation than they were the year before, and they'll flourish. And this, by doing it this way, doing it now, it's going to save you an awful lot of work in the spring. So that is also a bit of motivation for you as well. Saving yourself work in the spring is a massive motivator. So that's a fourth one there for you. So I do hope that these 3 or 4 or 5 tips that I've provided for you today actually helps you to look at your garden in a different way in the winter, motivates you to actually go out and either look at your garden and see what you want to change or what you want to move, imagine what you want to grow in the new year, or just include a bit of colour. Go out and buy some plants, include a bit of colour into your garden for the winter months, improve the environment, if you like, for the wildlife that visit your garden, and improve it for you as well. Give yourself something to look at and enjoy in the winter. So take the greyness and the brownness away and try and add a bit of colour in. So in whichever way you want to do it, I do hope it motivates you a little bit more. Anything else I need to say? If you've got any questions, as I say, please feel free to comment below this video. I will see you next week at the same time, at the same place. I'll see you all later. Have a great day.